There's a story about this fellow who went into the Israeli embassy in New York and said, I would like to apply for a visa to make Aliyah to Israel. The Israeli official asked him, why do you want to make Aliyah? He said, for two reasons. He says, what's the first reason? He said, I'm sick and tired of living in America under President Trump, who has mismanaged the coronavirus and has divided our nation. So the Israeli official said to him, you know, on Tuesday there's an election. Why don't you wait and see? Maybe Joe Biden will win. And the Jew said, well, that's my second reason why I want to make Aliyah. Obviously there's a big election on Tuesday, and there's a lot of anxiety in this country. It feels like half of the country might have a nervous breakdown when the results are announced. Yesterday's Torah portion was the first commandment given to the first Jew. God tells Abraham, Lech lecha, go for yourself, from your birthplace, from your homeland, from your father's house, to the land that I will show you, without specifying where he was sending him to. God says, I will give you blessings, and I will make you great, and you will become a blessing for mankind, and those who bless you shall be blessed. And indeed, the rest is history. Abraham founded the Jewish nation, and the Jewish people live in the land of Israel till today, 3,800 years later, after God promised him, I will give this land as an eternal inheritance to your nation. However, the Sfas Emes, the Rabbi says that these words of God to Abraham was not just to the first Jew, but to every Jew in every generation. And the instruction to every Jew is Lech lecha. Life is a journey. You have to leave your comfort zone. You have to leave what is familiar to you. And instead of being self-centered, you have to become God-centered. You have to realize that as a Jew you are on a mission to whatever unknown destinations God leads you in your path in life. Wherever you find yourself, wherever God brings you and journeys to, that is where your mission is, to be a blessing like Abraham was a blessing. And God says, those who bless you, those who support you in your mission, will be blessed. As American Jews, we are fortunate to live in the United States, which from the very inception of the State of Israel was the first nation to vote for its founding, and has always continuously been a blessing to the land of Israel and the Jewish people. And therefore America is a blessed country. But as Jews we have to remember that we are on God's mission, and wherever God sends us to the land that He will show us, whatever journey He leads us on, that's where we have to focus on fulfilling our legacy of Abraham to be a blessing to mankind. There's a lot of fear, anxiety in this country over what America will look like on Wednesday morning. And we have to remember as Jews that we should never lose our serenity, our peace of mind. But we have to have faith in God. Just like when Abraham went to the land of Israel, he was challenged. There was a famine. He had to go to Egypt to find food. And there in Egypt things got worse when his wife was abducted. But nevertheless, he maintained his faith in God and carried on his mission and his journey. And indeed, he came back to the land of Israel, and God promised it to him, for him and his descendants, and we are the recipients of that blessing until today. Our job is to stay focused on our mission. God has been running the world from the 6 days of creation, and God is the only one who controls the events of the world. We should do our job, vote who we believe should be the best candidate to run this country, but we should realize that no human being determines the future, only God does. Sometimes we're going to a place that we do not see where we're going, just like Abraham. But like Abraham, if we maintain our faith in God, we will always be recipients of God's blessings, and we will bequeath those blessings from generation to generation. So let us strengthen our resolve and our faith in Hashem, and whatever the outcome will be from Tuesday's election, always remember, our mission is not to determine the future. That's job. That's God's job. Our job is to look around and say, how can we be a blessing? And the best way we can be a blessing is that whatever the results are on Tuesday, we have to make sure that on Wednesday morning we start healing the divide in this country. As Jews, we have to be in the forefront of making peace with our neighbors, with our friends, and saying, now that we have a new president, we are all the United States of America. He is the president of every American. And it is incumbent on the party that loses to be the ones to make the greatest effort to accept the loss and to say, now that it's over, we will remain the United States of America, and we will continue to receive Hashem's blessing as a nation that is a blessing to the state of Israel trust, with confidence